The 2026 World Cup is the biggest sporting event in human history. 48 countries, 3 host nations, over 5 billion people expected to watch, and somewhere in all that chaos, one team is going to lift the trophy. But here's the thing nobody talks about. Winning a World Cup isn't just about having the best players. It never has been. The team with the best squad on paper has lost the World Cup more times than they've won it. And right now, there are 5 teams, 5, with a genuine shot at winning this thing. So today, we're breaking down exactly who can actually win the 2026 World Cup. Why certain favorites might implode. And why England, with all their superstars and all that hype, are probably going to break everyone's heart. Again, let's start with the team that, honestly, right now, looks the closest thing to a perfect football machine on the planet. Spain are number 2 in the FIFA World Rankings. And before you think that's impressive but not amazing, just wait until you hear what they've actually done. They went through the entire qualification campaign without losing a single game. They're the reigning European champions, and they have arguably the most gifted teenager in football history leading their attack. His name is Lamine Yamal. He's 18 years old. He plays like someone who has already won the World Cup twice and is doing it a third time just for fun. Now, if you're new to football, here's what you need to know about how Spain plays. Imagine a basketball team that never stops passing. They keep the ball so well for so long that the other team gets physically and mentally exhausted chasing it. Then, just when the opponent is tired and frustrated, Spain's 2 wingers, Yamal on the right, Nico Williams on the left, suddenly explode forward at full speed and it's over, before the goalkeeper even reacts. That's the system. And right now, it works beautifully. The engine room of this Spain team is a man called Rodri. Think of him as the conductor of an orchestra. He sits deep in midfield, controls the tempo, decides when Spain speeds up, when they slow down, and he rarely, ever, gives the ball away. Behind him, the goalkeeper situation is so strong that Spain actually has a problem. 2 world-class goalkeepers and only 1 position. That's what peak depth looks like. But here's the interesting question. What happens when the plan stops working? Because Spain's weakness, and every team has one, is what they do when they can't score through their usual style. They don't have a dominant striker. Their center-forward Morata had a difficult season at club level. And in tournament football, when a well-organized team parks everyone behind the ball and defends for their lives, the team with no backup plan often goes home earlier than expected. Still, if Yamal is firing, if Rodri is fit, and if Spain play the way they're capable of playing, they are the team most likely to control their own destiny all the way to the final. And when they get there, they'll probably have to face the most obscenely talented squad in world football. France. Let's just talk about France for a second. Most countries are lucky to produce 1 golden generation of football talent every 30 or 40 years. France has somehow produced 3 in a row. 3 entire squads of generational talent. Back to back. It's not normal. Football scientists should be studying this. At the heart of everything is Kylian Mbappé. If you've never watched football before, Mbappé is essentially what would happen if someone created a footballer in a laboratory. He is fast, not just quick, but genuinely one of the fastest humans on a football pitch. He can score from anywhere, with either foot. He's the captain of the French team and the highest paid player in the world at Real Madrid. Around him, France have Ousmane Dembélé, the current Ballon d'Or winner, which means the world's best player award, and Michael Olise, who had one of the most electric seasons of any winger in European football. In midfield, they have Aurélien Tchouameni, N'Golo Kante, who is somehow still an elite player, and creative options off the bench. At the back, defenders like Ibrahima Konate and Upamecano make France physically one of the hardest teams to score against. France are what coaches call a complete team. They can defend when they need to. They can attack when they need to. They can slow the game down. They can speed it up. They adapt. But there is always a question about France's team harmony. Football insiders talk about it constantly. When you put that many big personalities and superstars in one dressing room, you only need one small falling out. One moment where the captain feels disrespected. One phone call that leaks to the press. And suddenly the team falls apart. It's happened to France before. Multiple times. And right now, there are already question marks being asked about Mbappé's relationship with the coaching staff and his commitment, or to the team's defensive shape. That's not ideal when your manager just named him captain. If France keep their dressing room together, and that's a bigger if than it sounds, they have the individual quality to win any game in the tournament. Even their worst day is better than most teams' best day. Now, let's talk about the greatest player the sport has ever produced. 38 years old, heading into what everyone assumes is his final World Cup, still capable of doing things that make professional defenders look like they've never played the game before. Lionel Messi. Argentina are the defending champions. They won the 2022 World Cup in Qatar in what many people call the greatest final ever played. They also won the Copa America recently. That's the South American equivalent of the European Championships. They arrive at 2026 not as underdogs. They arrive as the team everyone has to beat. What makes Argentina fascinating is that Messi at 38 plays a very different role than he did even 6 years ago. He doesn't sprint. He doesn't chase fullbacks. He drifts between positions and waits. And then, in the moment that matters most, he produces something that nobody else on the planet could produce. His teammates do the hard physical work. Enzo Fernandez, Alexis McAllister, they cover the ground, win the ball, and make sure Messi has the space and the time he needs to be decisive. It's an intelligent system built completely around protecting and weaponizing one man's genius. But Messi will turn 39 during the knockout rounds. 39. The body doesn't recover the way it used to. 7 or 8 games in 30 days. Against the world's elite is a brutal schedule for anyone. At that age, the question isn't whether Messi can produce magic. It's whether he can stay healthy long enough to produce it when Argentina needs it most. And this Argentina team has another challenge nobody is talking about. Angel Di Maria, the man who scored in nearly every major final for them. The big game heartbeat of the squad is gone. The pressure on Messi to deliver in those defining moments is now higher than it's ever been. But Argentina are World Cup champions, and you never write them off. Portugal deserve to be in this conversation. And honestly, if it wasn't for one very loud, very opinionated, very famous footballer taking up so much space in the conversation, we might talk about Portugal even more. Here's the thing. Portugal without Cristiano Ronaldo in the starting lineup are a beautiful, fluid, modern football team. Bruno Fernandes in midfield is the real heart of this squad. Creative, decisive, capable of unlocking any defense in the world. Vitinha and João Neves provide the engine behind him. In attack, Francisco Conceição, Bernardo Silva, Rafael Leao, and João Felix give coach Roberto Martinez so many options that opposition coaches must spend sleepless nights trying to plan for all of them. But Cristiano Ronaldo is 41 years old and is still the captain of Portugal and still the emotional center of the entire country's football universe. When he plays, the team becomes more direct, more focused on getting the ball to him in positions where he can score. Which honestly isn't the worst plan. The man is closing in on 1,000 career goals. But here's what the data shows. When Ronaldo doesn't play, Portugal look faster, more dangerous, more unpredictable. The hard question Martinez has to answer is whether the greatest ego in the history of sport will accept a reduced role, and whether he can use Ronaldo at the right moments without letting nostalgia cost Portugal a chance at the trophy. If Martinez gets that balance right, Portugal could genuinely be the most dangerous team in this tournament. And now the only team you could reasonably call a dark horse, while also being a historic football superpower. Germany. Calling Germany a dark horse sounds wrong. Germany have won 4 World Cups. They have some of the most passionate football fans anywhere on earth. They invented a style of tournament football so cold and ruthless that other countries studied it for decades. But here's the truth. Germany haven't gotten past the group stage in their last 2 World Cups. They were knocked out in the round of 16 and the quarterfinals in the last 2 European Championships. For a team of this pedigree, that's not a slump. That's a crisis. However, Germany have spent the last 2 years quietly building something exciting around 2 players who might be the most entertaining partnership in international football. Florian Wirtz and Jamal Musiala. Remember those names, because these two have the ability to turn a completely neutral midfield battle into a goal-scoring opportunity in about 2 touches. They're unpredictable, creative, and they play with a kind of joy that looks almost reckless but is completely controlled. Supporting them, Germany have defensive experience in Antonio Rudiger and Goretzka, genuine pace from younger players coming through, and a team that has clearly responded well to their new coaching approach. The problem? Scoring goals. Germany's two main striker options going into this tournament have combined for just 8 goals in 17 international appearances. 8 goals. For context, Mbappe has scored more than that in a single month for club football. In a knockout tournament, when Spain, France, Argentina, and Portugal are all competing, Germany will eventually face an opponent who can really hurt them at the back. And when that happens, if the strikers can't deliver, the creativity of Wirtz and Musiala won't be enough on its own. Dark horse, definitely. Dark horse who could reach the final? Possibly. Dark horse who wins it? The striker situation makes that very difficult to see right now. So England. Harry Kane is one of the best strikers in world football. Jude Bellingham proved he can perform in the highest pressure. Moments at the Euros, Bukayo. Saka is one of the most consistent wingers in the game. The talent is real. The price tags are enormous. The expectation is sky high. Thomas Tuchel is manager. Because yes, Germany's most successful club manager is now coaching. England has completely changed the culture around the national team. He wins trophies. He knows knockout football. He has the mentality to match the squad's ambition. And 60 years have passed since England last won anything major. So why won't it be England? Start at the back. Look at the defensive options. Look at the combination of form, tournament experience, and top-level quality across the England defense. Finding a defender who genuinely ticks all 3 boxes is very difficult. Spain have elite defenders. France have elite defenders. Portugal have elite defenders. England's backline, individually, doesn't quite match up. Go to midfield. Declan Rice is excellent, consistent, reliable, always around a 7 out of 10. But his backup options? The players who would need to step in if Rice is suspended or injured. That depth is a genuine concern. And then there's the English media. If England don't dominate their group, if they scrape through a game against a team they shouldn't struggle with, the pressure on Tuchel as a foreign manager will be immediate and intense. He'll be questioned on every decision. His methods will be scrutinized. And England teams historically do not handle that pressure well. Tuchel is the best manager England have had in a very long time. And the squad talent is real. But real talent and a good manager doesn't guarantee a World Cup win. Ask Portugal. Ask the Netherlands. Ask France in 2022. England could reach the quarterfinals. Maybe the semifinals. But lifting the trophy in New York in July? Something would have to go very, very right. So who wins it? Spain and France are the 2 most complete teams. Argentina are the champions, and Messi alone makes them dangerous in any game. Portugal have the depth and the talent to beat anyone on their day. Germany are the wild card that no team wants to face. But if you're asking for one team, one to put your faith in, Spain, young, technically brilliant, tournament hardened, and playing a style of football that is almost impossible to consistently stop. If Lamine Yamal stays healthy and Rodri controls the midfield, they have the tools to win every single game they play. The 2026 World Cup is going to be extraordinary. More teams, more games, more upsets, more drama than any tournament before it. One of these teams will lift the trophy in the most watched sporting event in human history, just probably not England. If you want to follow along as this tournament unfolds, subscribe, because we'll be covering every twist, every upset, and every moment that changes everything. See you there.